All right, story time. You guys doing wall-based dashboards? What I mean by that is you have a big screen television somewhere on the wall and you're showing dashboards that way rather than in the browser like most people. Well, we've actually got dashboards around the office for each department. I'd definitely show you some better pictures if I could, but everything is off and just saving power due to COVID right now. I'm really the only one in the office. But this concept is really neat because each department is able to see their key metrics and how they're doing based on their goals. Now, this does pose one problem though. When you have guests in the office, sometimes you don't want to show potentially sensitive information on these dashboards as they're walking around. So what we did in the past was we would have someone go and turn all these off. Sometimes we forget to turn them back on. It's kind of a pain to go physically change the TV, even though it's just hitting an on or off button. So what we did was we built a dashboard that had a switch on it, like a literal light switch. And this switch would change the content of the dashboards, hiding any sensitive information. So whenever we had someone in the office that we didn't want to show everything to, because, not everything's public, we'd simply hit the switch. There would be like a mask appear on top of the dashboard. In some cases, it would show traffic maps on how people could get home, or even just remove some of the sensitive information. It was a really cool idea and something that I think a lot of people could benefit from if you're doing this wallboard style dashboard. So here's how we did it. I actually created a switch just using a combination of mostly frame controls in Dundas BI. You can see me here doing it. I've sped it up so you don't have to watch the whole thing. But specifically, I use the frame because there's a lot of flexibility with it. You can do rounded borders. It has a lot of gradients and color options that you can set. I basically just kept overlaying these frames until I got something that looked like a switch. Now using layers, I'm able to go and create an on and off state. You can see when I click it that it turns on and off, which is really cool. From here, we use data input in Dundas BI. Now, I did do a video on data input already if you're interested in checking that out. But basically what's happening is we've created a table in Dundas, and if you hit that switch, it's going to write to the table the current status of the switch, on or off. Now here's the code, and you can see that we simply delete the previous record that's in that data input, and then add a new one. That's all that's going on. So it's super easy, and it really is just holding the state. Now on the dashboards, we simply add something like a state indicator, or we could add some code if we wanted to do something a little bit more complex. But the state indicator is simply hooked up to that true or false switch status and is set up in two modes. So if it is true, you can see that the state is going to show and it's going to block the content that we want. If it's false, everything shows as normal. So it's a really cool concept, and I really do think that it's something that a lot of people could benefit from, just knowing the idea and how easy it is to set something up. And hopefully, if you haven't really got into wallboard dashboards, it's something that you do explore. If you want to learn a little bit more about, features that would go into these type of things, we do have a video on real time, which is certainly something that makes sense on these live wallboard style dashboards. And also, as I mentioned, check out that video on data input, which can be really helpful. There is an entire layout mode in Dundas BI called the slideshow, which will automatically cycle content that you're looking at. And it's perfect for this big screen style display. Dundas also has a scale mode to allow you to blow up content. So you don't have to build this dashboard at some ridiculous resolution. You just build it at a nice scale for these TVs and it will just scale up automatically for you. Hope you like this idea, and thanks for watching.